Well, we just arrived up at the cabin. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. It's a cool and wet day, and there's supposed to be a fair amount of precipitation over the weekend, and it's supposed to get down to about -3 overnight. So we're up here to finish the last few things on the inspection list, and also to close the cabin up for the winter. And that'll include things like putting the OSB shutters up all along the porch to preserve the screen and to shut off the water and various other things. So we're hoping we can get that all done in 2 days. One of our first jobs is going to be to put up these 4x8 sheets of OSB as shutters on the porch. We've stored them here all summer. Now we've got to get them out, get them up on the porch, and that'll open up this whole area where we can bring the boats in. So first things first, we got to get these out.
Can't all fit.
Got it?
Yep. Watch the ball, you don't trip on it. Need to hold yours a little higher.
Okay. So we brought all the panels out of the basement and we've stacked them here in order because they're not all the same size. And now we're going to put the first one up, which we have over here. And even though this wasn't the original plan, what we're going to do is these bottom brackets, we're going to take a screw out and turn them sideways, push the panel up underneath the brackets at the top, and then turn these back and screw them back in. Like I said, that wasn't what we planned originally, but I think it'll work. I guess so. Is it under them?
Yeah, but I think it has to go to the left. It's got to be push up. See the downspout?
Yeah, the downspout's in the way. Across.
My side is way in. Okay.
lift her up.
Your piece needs to come up. Oh, it's stuck. Wait, my finger.
What's that?
It's okay. Oh, nope.
What?
It's sliding to the right.
Okay. That one in too?
This one is.
You see the,
Yeah.
oh, that one's way
Yeah.
over too, right?
There, okay.
Push this side up.
Oh. Okay.
We're in. That was the smoothest one so far.
Yeah. Okay.
We originally put these panels up before the eaves trough went on, and now that the eaves trough's on, it's moved everything over a bit, and all of the braces are off a little. So we decided not to cut the first one and put 5 panels down, and when we got to the 6th, this last one, we're just going to measure that distance up to that eaves trough or downspout and trim the last piece of OSB and get it to fit in there. Good. Okay. earlier in the day we cleared out a spot in the basement and we brought the 2 kayaks in. It was cold outside, and so we were kind of in a rush and we didn't take the time to film it. But anyway, the 2 kayaks fit in there okay. They're both 12 feet long and they seem to fit in there okay, and left lots of room for the canoe. So we had to put a mixing valve on the hot water heater. I'd never heard of anything like that before, but it's a new regulation for the Ontario Building Code. I think it's only a couple of years old. So what happened was we had an incoming cold line and an outgoing hot line, but that's not good enough. They now want the inline here to also branch off and hook back up with the hot line coming out. And this adjustment here allows you to adjust how much hot water mixes with some of the incoming cold water. And you can set your temperature that way with this valve. And as I understand it, the reason behind it is now you set your temperature for your tank much higher, and it keeps it safer water, less bacteria and all that. But it would be too hot coming out of the hot line. So on its way out, you mix some cold water back with it and set the temperature where you want it. So I don't understand why it's necessary, but we now have it. Because this is just a 3-season cabin, the water has to be shut down, and I was going to shut it down myself, but I had some questions, so I contacted Patrick, our plumber, and asked him for some advice, and he said he thought he could drop by today. So he'd come by and show me a few things. So anyway, he showed up. I mean, it was getting dark, and he arrived, and it's a Saturday, and he stayed for an hour and helped me shut the whole thing down. And I won't take you through it all, but basically we drained the hot water tank into a drain underneath that brick there. And then we had to take apart all the filter systems. I would never have figured this out, how to do it properly. And drain all the filters. And then of course we had to go upstairs and drain all the lines. The toilet, the vanity, the shower, the kitchen, the outside tap. And then we had to go down to the shoreline and drain the lines down there, the pressure tank, the pump, and we had to pull the line out of the water with the foot valve. So it would have been a big job for me, and I don't know if I would have done it right. And so Patrick showed up, and in less than an hour, we had it all done. So last night we brought the air compressor down here. We plugged it in down here, and on the pump, right here, there's a valve, and we attached the air compressor to that and put it up to 50 pounds per square inch, and we pumped air in the line, and it pushed the air all the way up the line, and in doing so pushed the water right up to the cabin and pushed the water out the valves up at the cabin. So this whole line got drained upwards, which I was surprised at. I kind of thought it would be the opposite. It would drain downwards. And then this pressure tank, it drained and came down through the pump and came out this valve right here. And the water in the line out to the lake, it all drained back to this pump as well. Then we had to go out into the water, and actually we didn't actually go in the water because the water is so far down. They control the water here, and they let a lot of it out in the fall. So when the snows melt in the spring, there's room for all that extra water. So we went out on the end of the rocks, and the foot valve was just out there about maybe 6 or 7 feet, a couple meters off the end of the rocks, and we just yanked it in, untied all of the anchors, and pulled it up here. And this foot valve right here, Patrick told me it can just stay on as long as it's not in the water freezing. It can just stay on and be left out here. So I'll probably rearrange this so it's not going to be in the water in the spring, and we'll just leave it here for the winter. And that's how we winterize down here. This is not the time to be doing your close up for the cabin, that's for sure. So I added 3 wheelbarrows of sandy gravel, and then I put down the concrete slabs, and I was short 1, so I just centered these 3. I'm hoping that will satisfy the requirement right there. Well, the last slab is a different pattern, but that's all I had on hand. And I don't think the Ontario Building Code really cares about pattern. So I think we're okay here. It comes out 36 inches, it's all level, and that should pass.
I'll take the car away then. Let's just see if he's gonna pop in. Oh no, because I can live. What are we doing? Now, don't relax, I've got the weight. Let me get in position. And we're gonna go one step, that's all. We ready?
Yep.
That's good, just slowly like that. One sec, one sec.
Oh.
Go! Okay, lift. Rest again.
Who made these steps?
A little wider would have been nice.
I'll just rest a second. Okay, everybody ready?
Yep.
You're there. Am I leveled up?
Yep.
Okay. You just guide me at the back. Gonna come snapping down.
What's your feet?
There you go. I got most of the weight. There you go.
Our neighbor Peter had a wood stove, and he decided he didn't want it anymore. He was going to go with an electric unit, so he sold us his wood stove, and he just brought it over, and we brought it inside, and we've just put it in this area here for the time being. That's where it's going to go eventually, but right now we're not ready to put it in because we're locking up for the winter. So I'm going to arrange for an installer to come and put it up in late April or early May. So it'll just sit there right now as it is. That's the main unit, a stand, a blower, the shields and the door. So we'll put it all together, and so that next year when we're closing up the cottage, we'll have a bit of heat, because heat would be good. Well, the frigid winds of November came early. It was a cold and really windy 2 days up here, but we did manage to get all of the things off the inspection list accomplished, and we shut the place down. We closed up the water, blew out all the lines, and we've boarded up the porch, and we cleaned up inside, and we're moving a lot of things back home that we might need in the next 5 months. But basically, we won't see the cabin for 5 months unless we come up cross-country skiing or something over the winter. We'll drop in and check it out, but we won't be staying here because it's just too darn cold. Anyway, that's another season of working on the cabin, and November, December, January, February, March, we'll be back in April to pick up where we left off. So that's it for now.